Hello friends and welcome back to another video. Today I will be attempting something that's probably a very bad idea. As you already know, I will be attempting to solve all 4 of these puzzles one-handed. 2 videos back I did a challenge where I tried to solve a 5x5 one-handed. Now that challenge was a lot easier than I thought at the beginning. And I wanted to challenge myself, so I decided to spice it up and put in 4 puzzles, and all 4 of those puzzles are non-cubic. I also just recently got this set and I did a full review on them. The link to that review will be in the description. So without further ado, let's head to the table where I will be doing the challenge. Now before I start the challenge, there is a few things I want to say. The first thing is that if you have these puzzles at home, I really do encourage you to try this challenge for yourself. If you do try this challenge, use the scrambles in the description down below. Those are the scrambles that I've used for this challenge. Time yourself and see how long it takes you to do this challenge. Then let me know in the comments down below what time you got. Now I also want to say that some of these puzzles might be mis-scrambled. I'm still pretty new to all of these puzzles, so scrambling them according to a certain scramble might not always work out. But I think that I've got it right. The last thing I want to say is that if you have an idea for a challenge that I should do next, also let me know in the comments down below. Okay, so with all that said and done, let's start the challenge. Now I'm going to take a quick glimpse at all of these puzzles and see how I'm going to start. Okay, so I'm going to move those back and I'm going to start with Pyraminx. I'll have a timer in the left hand corner over here that will show how long I will take with this challenge. So without further ado, in 1, 2, 3, let's get started. For the Pyraminx, I can already feel this is pretty awkward. Now, in my 5x5 challenge, when I used the table to turn the layers, I actually found that it made the challenge a lot easier. And so what I'm going to do in this video is try to keep the cube or whatever puzzle I'm solving as much as I can in my hands, so that I don't use the table to kind of make it a bit easier to turn the layers. Ooh, this is going to be very difficult. Now to be completely honest with you, the Pyraminx is not really as difficult as I think some of the other puzzles will be, but it is a lot more awkward than I think most of the puzzles will be, which is expected because we have a triangle to turn. Okay, so for the final moves of the Pyraminx, I have to say that the Pyraminx took way longer than I thought it would take. And let's go on to the Skewb, which I think will be the most difficult puzzle out of all of them to turn with one hand. But we'll see. Yep, this is going to be difficult. Now, as most of you know, the Skewb isn't a difficult puzzle, but just the way the layers turn makes this incredibly difficult. Oh my goodness. I think the Skewb alone will take about an hour to solve, so we're going to be here a while. Okay, so I think I've kind of figured out how to turn the Skewb with one hand. So what you want to do is to use your thumb to push the layer that you want to turn. So for instance, I want to place this corner into this spot, which means I'm going to have to turn it this corner, I think. And so what you want to do, so you want to use your thumb in order to turn that layer, and you want to use your palm in order to keep the layer you don't want to turn steady. So I want to turn this corner to place in this corner now, and so I'm just going to use my thumb to turn it like this. And there we go. We have one side completed. Yay! Now let's move on to OLL. OLL, if you can call it that on a Skewb. You know how I said we had one layer finished? Yeah, we don't have a layer finished anymore. Okay, you know what? I'm going to leave the Skewb for last. We're going to go on with the Megaminx and the Square-1, and we'll see if I can solve the Skewb at the end. You know how I said the Skewb is the most difficult puzzle out of all of them? Yeah, it's not the Skewb, I don't think anymore. Okay, so we are done with the first two layers of the Megaminx, and I have to say this is a lot easier than the Skewb. At first it was a bit more difficult, but when I got used to how to turn this with one hand, it became a bit easier. So let's see how long this will take. Now, to be honest with you, solving the Megaminx one-handed is a lot easier than I thought it would be initially. I think the Skewb is still going to be the hardest of them all. I have to say, for the Square-1, since I got it, I was really interested in how it turned. I wanted to learn how to speed solve it, so it's going to be the most fun for me to turn the Square-1 one-handed, I think. So this is not as hard as I thought it would be, but it is still pretty difficult. For the Megaminx, every now and then I will turn a layer that I don't want to turn, because there are just so many of them and they turn so easily. But yeah, we'll just have to see how long this takes. Now, I have tested out that if you keep the Megaminx on the table like this, it's a lot easier to do turns. But I said at the beginning of the video that I want to challenge myself, so I'm going to try my best to keep it in the air as much as I can, because I'm a man of my words. And I want a challenge, because every challenge idea I have seems very difficult in my head, but it's actually pretty easy. So yeah, I'm going to try my best to keep it in my hands, and we'll see what happens. Now, I have to say, when turning the Megaminx one-handed, it does put a lot of strain on your fingers. A lot more than I thought I would. I can feel in this middle part of this finger over here, it's actually quite sore there. I don't really know why. But yeah, overall this is not bad. I'm doing a bit better than I thought I would. I'm beginning to get the hang of how to turn this, so yeah, let's just see what happens. Okay, so I'm going to insert my last S to L pair right now. Then all we have left is the last layer. So let's see how fast I can do this. Okay, so these last few moves will finish off our last layer, and we had a pretty lucky last layer. So when I solved all of the edges into their correct positions, 2 of the corners were already solved and 3 of them were already in their correct spots. They just needed to be twisted. So it was a really easy last layer Megaminx case, which I'm really grateful for, because my hands are getting very tired and sore right now, and I'm actually glad for that, because I wanted it to be like this. Now, I think this challenge with the Square-1 will be The layers that are so smooth, they turn effortlessly, which can be a bit of a problem, but I don't see that it will be that much of a problem. I think the biggest worry for me is to mess up my algorithms, but I think I'm quite good at them, so I'm just hoping I don't mess them up. Yeah, let's see what happens. Okay, the first stage of the Square-1 is finished. Now for the next stage, which is to solve all of the corners. And I almost messed that up as well. Then all of the edges. Okay, now for the next part, after getting white and yellow finished, is to PLL, or to permute all of the pieces, and I'm hoping I don't mess anything up now, because that would be very bad. Oh no, you won't believe what I just got. Yep, you guessed it, parody. And I'm hoping that it's only on this layer, because on the Square-1 you can get parody on both layers, and I'm really hoping that it is only on this layer that I'm having parody issues, because I'm really not up to having to do this algorithm twice. Okay, so I've almost solved one side, and the good news is I don't have parody, which is really great news for that side, but for the other side I still have parody. So yeah. Okay, these last moves signify that we have solved the Square-1, and I'm really glad that I didn't mess up on the parity algorithm, which would really have been bad for me, because that means I would have to do the whole solve over, and I'm really close to finishing. So yeah, I'm really glad I didn't mess that up. Okay, so we're down to the last 4 centers that needs to be finished, and I thought that I messed up this one part where I have to solve the yellows, and luckily enough I did mess it up, but I saved it at the end, which was really great. Okay, the last 3 centers. Okay, so I've solved the white and the yellow. Now we just have the 4 centers again. So hopefully I don't mess up this time, so that I can just finish this challenge and go on with my life. Okay, so we have the red center solved now, and for the last 3 centers, this is where I messed up last time, so hopefully I don't mess up this time. I think that I figured out how to turn the Skewb, so all you have to do is keep the corner in your hand that is opposite to the corner you want to turn, and then use your thumb in order to turn the corner. So if I want to turn around this corner, I'll use my thumb like this and keep the opposite corner in my hand. This makes it a lot easier to turn. So if you want to try this on your own, this is how you should go about turning the Skewb. And I've solved the Skewb. Finally, I have finished solving the Skewb. Let me tell you that it is a lot more difficult than it looks to solve the Skewb. Okay, so what's the lesson we have learned out of doing this? The lesson I've learned is that I'd rather stick to solving these puzzles two-handed. The second thing I learned is that if you solve these one-handed, you will get a sore hand over here. I don't know what this piece of the hand is called, but it's actually weirdly sore there. My fingers are a bit tired, which I guess is obvious. And I think the most difficult part out of solving these cubes one-handed were the awkward way that you have to hold them and turn them. So it's pretty obvious that this will be the case. But yeah, I don't know what else to say. If you want to try this on your own, I highly recommend that you do. This is a really fun challenge. So yeah, let's head to the outro. So thank you all for watching this video. If you made it this far in the video, you are a real champ. And I really appreciate that you watched this far into the video. Now since you made it this far, I assume that you liked the video. So if you would give this video a thumbs up, I would really appreciate it. If you would also subscribe to my channel, I would really appreciate it. The last thing I want to say is that if you have any ideas for challenges that I should do next, leave it in the comment section down below. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video.